that are 15.5%. The area close to Woodchuck. And 11 acres and 54 is already developed with a single family house on it. And that parcel will be, that was where the PSP will remain, and the OS, and then HDR. Various agencies review the application and their comments are included in the staff report. Agencies with conditions are included in the conditions of approval. Staff can make the full required findings as shown as a staff report and recommends approval. And here's a possible motion. And I'm available for questions, and I believe the applicant is online and available for questions.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you very much, Julie. Does the applicant have anything they'd like to add to that presentation? If not, that's fine.
Not seeing any interaction from the applicant.
Okay, great. Well, we'll move on back to the committee. I didn't see any conditions that looked outside the norm. Does anybody have anything they'd like to discuss on this one?
My only question was on the septic. Can they do a less than 5 acre parcel and still have a septic, Wes?
Yeah, this map actually circled around here quite a bit with a lot of map that subdivision actually stated no further subdivision of these lots without public or municipal sewer. That said, the current regulations actually would allow this map to be able to be done, would allow this parcel map to move forward and be able to develop on less than 5 acres. Now, any future subdivision would require a 5 acre minimum for both parcels, but in its current form as is, technically it meets all the requirements. If the applicant's on and they're listening, I will give the blanket statement. That lot's got a lot of steepness, and it may be more challenging to develop that lot utilizing an on-site septic system going forward, which would be a concern as far as actual development. But for the lot to exist, technically, it meets the requirements. It's a good question, Wayne. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. Anybody else? I think that I would weigh in that we may expect to see more requests like this. From a planning perspective, this is almost what you think of as a rural infill or county infill. This is inside the TMSA. It is therefore, part of the area we would prefer to see new housing in terms of inside or outside the services area. And so we are seriously contemplating how to treat these developmentally constrained areas, because they are developmentally constrained inside the TMSA, that may have significant pockets of developable area on them. And so we're seriously considering how to think about those developable areas, even though they may have development constraints throughout a good portion of the actual parcel. So we're thinking that through, and in a way, it's a little bit like infill. It's not like urban infill or suburban infill, but it is a kind of a form of Washoe County infill. At least that's one way of looking at it. And we are thinking that through. So my message is only that there's a chance that we'll see more requests for parcel maps like this in some areas that are developmentally constrained, that somebody that feels like they have identified some developable spots for a home or two. So I would expect to see this, but I will ask once again if there is any public comment on this.
There is no public comment.
I'll call for public comment one last time. Give it a moment. If you have public comment, please raise your hand.
No public comment.
Okay, thank you. I'll close the public hearing on this, bring it back to the board. Any further discussion or a motion? Can we bring that motion back up if anybody would like to read it? Is that still available?
I got it. This,
Yeah.
yeah, this is Westwood Northern Mountain Public Health. I'll move to approve the parcel map case number WTPM 25-0002. I move that after giving reasoned consideration to the information contained within the staff report and the information received during the public meeting, that the Washoe County Parcel Map Review Committee approved parcel map case number WTPM 25-002 for Maryland, York, subject to the conditions of approval included as Exhibit A with the staff report, and make the determination that the following criteria is or will be adequately provided for pursuant to Washoe County Code Section 110.606.30E. Stop.
Thank you. Do I have a second on that motion?
Wayne Hendrick, second.
Thank you, Wayne. We have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That passes unanimously. Thank you, everyone, for 7A. Let's move to 7B, tentative parcel case map. Case number WTPM 25-0001, Leslie Land Company, LLC. And we have Tim Evans representing this one for us all today. Tim, what can you tell us about this?
Let me share my screen real quick. All right, is everyone able to see that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Tim Evans, planner. So the case before you today is tentative parcel map case number WTPM 25-0001. So the subject property is located at 500 Rhodes Road. It is an undeveloped parcel. It's located within the South Valleys planning area, and it has three primary zonings on it: neighborhood commercial, medium density suburban, and general rural. So the request is to divide that 77.3 acre parcel into four parcels of 5.8 acres, 7.44 acres, 8.13 acres, and 55.93 acres. And so here is the tentative parcel map that was submitted with the application, and the subject property, that 77.3 acre parcel, is highlighted, and it shows the various parcels that are going to be created in relation to this tentative parcel map. And so as mentioned earlier, the property does have three primary zonings: neighborhood commercial, medium density suburban, and general rural. So in relation to that, the maximum lot potential for the neighborhood commercial portion is 178 lots. For the medium density suburban portion, it's 44 lots. And for the general rural portion, it is 0 lots due to the acreage, and I'll discuss that on the next slide in more detail. And so the number of lots proposed is 4 lots, and the proposed tentative parcel map meets all the requirements for the neighborhood commercial and the medium density suburban. And so, as mentioned, there is general rural zoning on this property. The acreage required for general rural is 40 acres. There's not 40 acres of general rural zoning on this property, so it is currently illegal non-conforming. And as a result of this proposed tentative parcel map, the general rural zoning is not going to be touched, and it will remain on 2 parcels. The portion that is down towards the bottom of the screen there, it's kind of like a highlighted tan yellow portion, that is going to be on 1 parcel by itself. And then the large half moon shaped portion there in the middle of that picture on the right side of the screen will be on another parcel. So the GR portion is not going to be split at all as a result, and will stay the same size. And so staff recommends approval of the tentative parcel map and provides the motion on the screen as well as in the staff report. And I am available for questions, and I believe the applicant is as well.
Thank you very much, Tim. I don't know if any of you feel that sort of the existing nonconformities are an issue. I didn't see them that way. I think Tim explained it. Does anybody have anything they'd like to bring up on this particular parcel? What's up,
Yeah,
Les?
I have a question, Tim. In reviewing of this one, I noticed that NNPH didn't provide any comments, which is fine. I took a quick review, but on the application, it doesn't actually identify whether or not they were going to be proposing any future development, whether they were going to be using septic or sewer. The notes on the map actually state, note 6 states that any construction would require connection to public sewer. So therefore, if this were approved as it is, no construction would be allowed on that site until municipal sewer was available. And is that actually accurate for how this applicant is proceeding? Because that would be a pretty important thing to pay attention to in Rhodes Road.
Yes, as far as I'm aware, that is what the applicant is proposing. They haven't specified exactly what type of development they are proposing for this property, but in having conversations with their representative, that is what it sounds to me, is that they would be waiting until services would be available.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we were clear before we made any final advancement of this. Thank you.
May I ask if that's something you would feel more comfortable having a note on the map about? I mean, we just had an example of a note on the map that got outdated. It was very well intended, but it turned out to be outdated, and you guys had to make a different decision on the last one. But is this something that you'd like to have a note about, services aren't available yet? And the development would have to wait until they're available. And Wayne, is that just an idea that you wouldn't be comfortable with? Because I think you're the kind of the gatekeeper of notes on the map.
I can address part of it first and then Wayne. We recently ran into this, and in order for them to develop, they had to go back through the mapping process.
What caused that?
They were trying to do something that wasn't approved on the map. So because the note specifically articulated that connection, that it was going to be built because of sewer, then they had to go back through the mapping process if they wanted to go forward with any construction proposal. So my point would be, with note 6 being there, if they came in with a proposal on septic, we would require that they would come back through the parcel map review committee for a subdivision. Because any future division of any of these would require 5-acre minimums on septic anyways.
Right. Okay.
And Wes, that note's already on the map. I don't see the note in front of me here.
The note is, I'm looking, I'll pull it back up because I had it up. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I passed it.
Oh, that's fine.
At least what's in the packet, it's page 31, Exhibit C. And I'm cocking my head because I didn't feel like rotating the page. Note 6 states sewage disposal shall be by connection to public sewer system.
Okay.
And so based off of that would require that a municipal sewer system would have to be available for future development.
Okay.
So if they have any intention of doing any development between now and whenever sewer may or may not ever be available in that area, I would encourage them to revise this.
I understand. Okay. Does anybody else have an input on this map? Okay. Is the applicant here for input, or are there any hands raised for public comment?
Don't see that the applicant is on and there are no hands raised for comment at all.
Okay, well, our staff planner, Tim Evans, has told us that his belief is that the applicant understands the consequences of waiting for municipal sewer. So I'm comfortable with that. And we have, I'll call for public comment. Does anybody have public comment on this item?
There is no public comment.
Okay, thank you. And I'll bring it back to us. If there's no further discussion, is there a motion on this particular parcel map?
This is Wes with NNPH. I'll move to approve. I move that after giving reasoned consideration to the information contained within the staff report and the information received during the public meeting, that the Washoe County Parcel Map Review Committee approved parcel map case number WTPM 25-001 for Leslie Land Company, LLC, subject to the conditions of approval included as Exhibit A with the staff report, and make the determination that the following criteria is or will be adequately provided for pursuant to Washoe County Code Section 110.606.30E.
This is Rob. I'll second it. Good to have you back, Wes.
Thank you to both of you. We have a motion and a second. There's no further discussion. I'll call for the vote. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed. That passes unanimously. Adriana, thank you so much. Everybody who participated, thank you, Tim. Let's move on to 7C. Tentative parcel map case number WTPM 25-0003, Neverez. And Tim is also going to help us with this one. Tim, what can you tell us about this parcel map?
All right, share my screen. Okay, there we go. Can everyone see that? Okay,
Here it comes.
perfect. Tim Evans, planner. So the case before you is tentative parcel map case number WTPM 25-0003. So the subject property is located at 10510 Red Pine Road. And the parcel is developed with a single family dwelling and a detached garage. It is located in the North Valley's planning area and is zoned low density suburban. And so the request is to take that 2.0 acre parcel and split it into two 1 acre parcels. And so here is the tentative parcel map that was submitted with the application, and the subject parcel that is proposed to be split is highlighted in yellow, as well as it calls out on that screen there the existing dwelling and garage. And so as mentioned earlier, the property is zoned low density suburban, and the maximum lot potential for this property to be split into is 2 lots, and the number of lots on the parcel map proposed is 2 lots. And the tentative parcel map meets all the minimum requirements for the low density suburban regulatory zone, as well as the North Valley's modifiers. So staff recommends approval of the tentative parcel map and provides the motion on the screen as well as in the staff report. And I'm available for any questions, and I believe that the applicant is available as well.
Okay, thank you, Tim. This one certainly seems somewhat straightforward. The applicant is here. If you'd like to raise your hand and speak to add anything to what Tim had to say, we'd love to hear it. Do you want to speak today?
Hands raised, Eric.
Okay. Then I will ask for any other public comment on this. Is there any other public comment? Call for public comment?
I see no hands raised for public comment, but just for the record, let it show that Jen Gustafson did join us at 2:34 p.m.
Welcome, Jen.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Nice to
Hi.
see you, Jim.
Hi, all. I apologize for my absence. I got caught up with something, so sorry to be tardy joining you.
Thank you for being here. This is of the three items today, from planning perspective, the most straightforward. I wouldn't be surprised if there were some questions about sewer or any municipal services. Does anybody want to talk about any of those services here? Any other issues? So it's as straightforward to everybody else as it is to planning? Okay. All right. I will call for public comment one more time.
No hands raised for public comment.
Thank you. Then, if there's no further discussion, I'll call for a motion on this parcel map.
This is Wes. Thanks, Rob. This is Wes. I move that after giving reasoned consideration to the information contained within the staff report and the information received during the public meeting, that the Washoe County Parcel Map Review Committee approve parcel map case number WTPM 25-003 for Alexander and Anne Marie Neverez, subject to the conditions of approval included as Exhibit A with the staff report, and make the determination that the following criteria is or will be adequately provided for pursuant to Washoe County Code Section 110.606.30E.
This is Rob. I'll second it.
Thank you again, Wes and Rob, for a motion and second. No further discussion. All right, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None opposed. That also passes unanimously today. Adriana, thank you very much. Thanks to everybody who participated. Thank you, Tim. Let's move on to item number 8, reports and future agenda items. Future agenda items, I have nothing to expect other than what we may see submitted in the submittal cycle. We can move to 8B, legal information and updates. Jen, you joined us just in time for that. Do you have anything to throw on?
Nothing for me.
All right, then. That will conclude item number 8. Let's move on to our last public comment opportunity of the meeting. I'll call for public comment at the end of today's meeting. Do we see anything? Raise your hand, please, if you have public comment.
There are no hands raised for public comment, and on my behalf, just coming up for PMRC for the month of June, we tentatively have 3 cases. Yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you, Adriana. If there's no public comment, then we'll move to item number 10, adjournment. And thank you all for being here today. And we'll see you with the 3 tentative items coming up next month. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks
guys.
all.
Yeah.